Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Economics. Today, we'll continue our study on the theory of consumer behavior. All right, and today specifically, we're looking at the theory of consumer surplus. All right, do not forget that these episodes, they are brought to you by the O3 Schools JAMB CBT practice application. If you have made a decision to pass your exam at once and never to write JAMB again, but get admitted to enter school, please make sure you have that app on your phone. Okay, and of course, before we talk about the app, let us see a JAMB pass question from the app. This is an economics question, year 2024, number 7. Year 2024, number 7. It is being displayed on the screen right now. It says that if the marginal utility of a commodity is equal to the price, then if the marginal utility is equal to the price, then A says the consumer is in equilibrium. B says more of the commodity can be consumed. C, total utility is equal to its price. D says the market is not in equilibrium. All right, so we'll talk about this, answer this question and many more at the end of the class and not before, because at O3 Schools, we pride ourselves in giving you value first. Let us teach you, and after we have taught you, answering questions will be the list of your problems. All right, so please ensure you download the app from Play Store. It has all the past questions that you need for your exam for all subjects under the practice for UTME. If you go to practice, for UTME, you see all the past questions for your exam. Some of you do not know that it is UTME you are writing and not JAMB, okay? You don't know write JAMB, you write UTME. JAMB conducts the exam, okay? JAMB conducts UTME for you to write. Okay, so the app also has a classroom feature. That classroom feature has class notes, has JAMB syllabus, okay, and those class notes are structured according to the JAMB syllabus. Under the classroom, you can also create a study plan for yourself, okay, and likewise, there's a question search feature. You can search for question according to topic, and the question that JAMB has set under that topic will come out for you to answer. What is more also is that we also have a mock challenge on the app every Saturday. So you come to the application to compete with all students that are writing JAMB for this year. Compete with them to win amazing prizes. Apart from those prizes, you familiarize yourself with how JAMB said that question, get it to likely exam question, and you see your result released just like normal JAMB, okay, thereby building your confidence in anticipation for the main JAMB exam. All right, so please ensure you download the app and activate it. Activation is not even up to the price. The activation fee is not up to the price of rice and chicken in a good restaurant. All right, so please ensure you get it and start using it immediately. Now let us talk about the theory of consumer surplus. Consumer surplus, okay? From the word surplus, it means it's many, okay? Surplus is many, all right? So what you call consumer surplus is like extra benefits, okay? It's extra benefits, okay? Or we call it surplus satisfaction. We call it surplus satisfaction. Okay, that's what a consumer receives from purchasing a particular product or service. Okay, so we call it an extra benefit or surplus satisfaction that a consumer gains or gets from purchasing a product, okay, at a lower price. At a lower price. I will explain what you mean. Let's say, for example, you put in your mind, some people are very, very, very economical, okay? They are very, very economical, all right? So if they have a budget of 15 naira to spend in a day, they will stick to that 15 naira. It will not exceed it, okay? So let's say, for example, you want to get this marker, and then you now say, if this marker pass 10 naira, I no go buy it. Some people are like that, yes, that they want to get something that they really want, but they have a budget for it. If it exceeds that budget, they will not get it, okay? But if it's exactly that budget, they will get it. But if it's below the word, they will be happier, all right? So when you get to the store to get this marker, you are not told that this marker is 8 naira, all right? And you budgeted 10 naira. Wow, wonderful. So you get the marker and you get a surplus of how much now? Of 2 naira, all right? That is what the surplus we're talking about. Okay, you are getting extra satisfaction, you are getting extra benefit, okay, from consuming okay, from purchasing a particular what product, okay, by getting like an extra what utility, okay, extra satisfaction. So that is what we call consumer surplus. All right, it's the extra benefit or surplus satisfaction that a consumer gains from purchasing a particular what product at a lower price. So let us also have here. I would say consumer surplus is the difference. You say it is the difference between. Okay, I just explained it for you. So if you want to define it, and for your notes, please make sure you have this. I was just explaining it for you. So consumer surplus is the difference, call it the difference between what a consumer is willing to pay for a good or service. What you are willing to pay for. Just like I said, you are willing to pay 10 naira for this marker. Okay, if it exceeds it, you will not buy. But if it's below it, of course, you buy. Or if it's exactly, you will buy. So consumer surplus is the difference between what a consumer is willing to pay for a good or service and what he actually now pays. Okay, and what he actually pays. Okay, so we can see consumer surplus as the difference between the total budget that you have and the actual amount you now later what bought it. You later what bought it. Okay, or the difference between your total budget that you have to purchase a particular commodity and the market price that you now what got it. Okay, so that is what consumer surplus. And usually they will say that in the curve, consumer surplus is shown by the shaded triangular portion in the upper part of the curve. Okay, so we are going to take an example now to explain consumer surplus further. All right. So now let's say, for example, we have a table. Okay, and you want to buy you want to buy sandals. All right. Okay, there's a fixed amount. Okay, that you are willing to pay. There's an amount you are willing to pay, and then there's actually the market price. All right. So let us use it to draw up a graph to explain consumer surplus. Let me draw up a table. Let me conjure a table. For example, let's say we have quantity. We have quantity. All right. So quantity. Okay. Then we now have price that you are willing to pay. Okay, the price that the consumer is willing to pay. So price, okay, all right, willing to pay. All right, then we'll now talk about the real market price. All right, so we'll talk about actual price paid. All right, then of course we now have consumer surplus or deficit. All right. So now let us see. So now let's say, for example, for the first one, for the first quantity, number one, okay, you are willing to pay. We're talking about sandals now. I want to buy sandals. Okay. So now for the first one, you're willing to pay what? You're willing to pay, let's say, for example, you're willing to pay 1,800 naira for what? For the sandals, okay? But when you go to the market, okay, it was sold for you for 1,200 naira. For 1,200 naira. All right. So now, obviously, is there a surplus here? Yes, there's a surplus. You are willing to, you went to the market with the hope that the sandals will be 1,800 naira. But when you got there, they were selling for you for what? For 1,200 naira. Is there a surplus there? Yes, there's a surplus. The surplus of how much now? Of 400 naira. Of 400. Okay, that's one. So that will be 600. That is 1,800 minus 1,200. So you have to be very careful. So that is what now? 600. Now, let's say again, number two, you are willing to pay, for example, 1,600, okay? But the actual market price, okay, was 1,200. Is there a surplus also? Yes, there's a surplus because this is what you are willing to pay, but this is what you paid actually. So 1,600 minus 1,200 will give you what? It will give you what now? 600 minus 200 will give you 400. Now, let's say the third instance, you are willing to pay 1,400 naira, right? But when you go to the market, it was 1,200 naira. Is there a surplus here? Yes, surplus of what? 200 naira. Now, let's say number four. Number four now, you are willing to pay 1,200 naira. When you go to the market, it was exactly 1,200 naira. Is there a surplus there? No, there's no surplus because 1,200 minus 1,200 is what? 0. Okay, so there's no surplus here. All right. So now let's say the fifth instance, number 5, you were willing to pay 1,000 naira, but when you go to the market, it was 1,200 naira. All right. Is there a surplus? No, there's no surplus. But this time, there's what we call what? A deficit. There's a deficit. All right. So you may actually not buy. All right. So, but if you actually buy, of course, we're talking about what? A deficit there. So 1,000 minus 200 naira will be what? Will be minus what? 200 naira. All right. So now, also, let's say for the fifth or for the sixth word, the sixth part, you what? This is utility maximization. So I will clean this. We need more space. We'll talk about it in a moment. Please stick with us. Now, for the sixth case, you had a budget of what? Of 800 naira. When you go to the market, it was what? 1,200 naira. Is there a deficit? There's a deficit of what? Of 400 naira. All right. So these ones here, these first three, okay, as you can see, obviously, that is what that's the origin of what? Of surplus. Here is what? Consumer surplus. All right. Well, these two here are what? Consumer deficit. Are we together now? So now from the table, okay, what will be our total consumer surplus? Our total consumer surplus. Total consumer surplus will be equal to what? Now you add all of the surpluses together, okay? So I'm going to have what now? Our 600 naira, then plus what? 400 naira, then plus what? 200 naira. That should be what now? 600 plus 400 is 1,000. 1,000 plus 200 is what? 1,200 naira. That should be our total consumer surplus, as seen from what? For the table. Okay, so if we want to now represent this in the graph, okay, how do we now draw it? Okay, so what we'll do is I will put what? The budget, okay, the budget, all right, on the what? On the horizontal, on the vertical y-axis, and then we'll put the quantity on what? On the what? On the horizontal x-axis. Okay, budget on the what? On the vertical y-axis. Then what? The quantity on the what? On the horizontal x-axis. So let us see. All right. So what do we need? What do we need? We need this. All right. And what? And this. And what? An actual what? Price paid. Okay. So the marginal utility and what? And the price I'm willing to pay will be on the vertical y-axis. Okay. So let us draw. We do not need this. So let us use this space to what? To draw. All right. We may need more space. Okay, so this is just a little illustration of what consumer surplus is. And then we'll do calculations on it also. Okay, so do not hurry away. So here we have what? The vertical y-axis. Okay, so here on this vertical axis, you have budget. Okay, then here we have all what? Actual price. Actual price. So we are plotting the budget / actual price as against what? The quantity. Here's our quantity. Okay, so here is 0. Let's use a suitable scale. This is 0. Let's just use a 1 to 400. Okay, or should we use 1 to 200? If you use 1 to 200, you may not have space that will take up to what? 1/8. Okay, so then we'll need what? 9 steps, and we do not really have what? That space. Okay, so let us use 1 to what? 400. So this is 0. All right. Then this is let me say 400. And this is 800. This is 1,200. This is 1,600. Then here's what? 2,000. Okay, I think we are clear, right? It's 400 to 800, 1, 2, 1, 6, 2,000. Correct. So our what is it called? Okay, let us see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I correct 6 quantities here. I'm going to have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now when the quantity was 1, okay, I talk about the price I was willing to pay is 1,800. Okay, so now 1 at 1,800, yes, 1,800. So we take it down. All right. So this is what for our 1,800. Now when it was 2, 1, 6, 2, 1, 6, 1, 6 is here. Okay, so let us take it down. Okay, let us take it up. Sorry, to what? To 1, 6. All right. Then now when it was you can take this to the end. Okay, now when it was what? 3 units. Talk about what? 1,400. So 3, 1,400. Also 1,400. 1,400 is somewhere where? Okay, so this is supposed to actually go here. Let me redraw this well. Sorry. So 1,600 is here. Okay, so 1,400 is somewhere here. Take it somewhere here. in between 1,600 and 1,200, we have 1,004. Okay, so we can join with the point. That's 1,400. Then at 4, 1,200. Okay, so we now actually have at 4, 1,200. Okay, so let us join. Okay, join it together. All right, so let us take our point somewhere here. Okay, so that's at 1,200. Then, of course, at 5, 1,000. Look at 5, look at 1,000. 1,000 is between 1,200 and 800. So let us draw it up. So you can draw this graph, draw it out very well, okay? So this is just for what? For explanation purpose, so please. Okay, use a rule to draw it well. Then that's at 5. Then at 6, 800. Look at 6 here. Look at your 800, okay? So you can take it up. Okay, 800 is somewhere here. Okay, so we can join them together. Okay, so please pardon the way I'm doing my own, okay, because of space. All right. So now, so these are our points here, 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 here. Okay, so now we can join. Okay, you can see that what is a downward sloping what curve is downward sloping. So we can join them together. You see, it's sloping or downward. All right. So now, let us manage this graph. That is not like the best graph, okay? But we want to use it to draw an explanation. So now you now note the point where the price he was willing to pay and the actual price he paid were at equilibrium, okay? Where was the price the same? And this fourth point, 1,200 and 1,200. Okay, so let us note it point. That is what. So this will form the base of our triangle. Okay, that is this base here. Okay, that is from 0 to 4. That is where this equilibrium happened. Okay, this intersection happened where the price the consumer was willing to pay and the price actually paid were at equilibrium. So that's the base from 0 to 4. So our base will be 4 in this triangle. Okay, then we have this hypotenuse. Then of course we now have this height. This height is different between this highest point, which is 1,800, and this point, which is 1,200. Okay, so if we do that, I'm going to have now? 1,800 minus 1,200. 1,800 minus 1,200 is what? Is 600. Okay, so remember this is what? This is what a right angle triangle, because this what? An angle 90 here. It's a right angle triangle. Okay, please don't add it to our graph. I'm just showing you. Okay, so now we know that the area of a triangle is what? Is 1/2 times base times what? Times height. If we do that, we're going to have 1/2 times the base is what? Is 4. Then times 600. Okay, so now let us do that out clearly. That is let me put it out here again. Half times b times what? Times h. 1/2 times base is 4. Height is what? 1,000. That is 1,800 minus what? 1,200. Okay, so we do that. 2 here 1, 2 here 2. 2 times 1,800 minus 1,200 is what? 600. That's what? 1,200. When we calculated the total consumer surplus, what did you have? It was 1,200. You see it in your exam, so you do not have to joke about it. Okay, so that's how we calculate what consumer was surplus. Okay, I'm sure that you have understood what consumer surplus is. I've understood how to calculate the consumer surplus. Okay, from the table and also from the graph. All right, it becomes very, very easy by finding the area of the triangle. Okay, that is above the line, the demand line. All right, so now let us go. So the next part is utility maximization or consumer equilibrium. Okay, utility maximization or consumer equilibrium. All right, so utility maximization or consumer equilibrium describes how individuals or firms make decisions to achieve the highest level of satisfaction, that is utility, given their limited resources. Okay, so we all have limited resources. Okay, if for example your dad gives you his ATM and say, Junior, take my ATM, go to the supermarket, buy whatever you want to buy, anything you want to buy, money dey the ATM. Okay, so when you get to the supermarket as Junior, you will be at liberty. You will have the free will to carry a cart and be packing things into the cart. Anything you like, you put it there. Even the one you don't need, you put it there. Okay? You will not be looking at the prices, will you? No, because you have been given a blank check. Okay? You have been told to get whatever you want. All right? So you see toys you carry. You don't care about what the price. Okay? But if your dad gives you an ATM and say, Junior, take this ATM, go to the supermarket and get something not more than 5,000 naira for yourself. What will you do? In that case, the story is different. When you get to the supermarket, let's say you pick a biscuit. You first of all check the price on the biscuit. If the biscuit is what? Is 5,000 naira. Will you buy it? No, because it will mean that you are just only getting only one thing. All right. So although you may buy it if that gives you satisfaction, but you know, for normal sense, you may not want to just use the whole money to just buy one thing. Okay. So let us say you now get to a place where they sell yogurt. Okay, you check the price also. Oh, 1,000 naira. Okay, you go and look for a lesser biscuit that is let's say 1,200. Okay, so you combine the yogurt and biscuit. Let's say the sweet also, you get sweet. So what are you going to do in that instance? You look for the possible combination that will give you the highest satisfaction, isn't it? That is what? Utility maximization. Because we are limited, humans are limited by what? By budget constraints. We have budget constraints. We are limited, our resources are what? Are limited. So because of that, we need to look for the best possible combination that will give us the highest satisfaction. That is what? Utility maximization. All right? Are you together? All right. So we say utility maximization describes how individuals, okay, or firms make decisions to achieve the highest level of satisfaction given their limited resources. I will say it refers to the point where a consumer will get the highest satisfaction from the consumption of a particular commodity, or the point where a consumer will need to stop consuming a particular commodity. So that is what utility maximization. Utility maximization, okay, or the one we call it consumer equilibrium. Okay, consumer equilibrium, or what? Yeah, or utility maximization. Okay, so now under this utility maximization, the one formula we need to offer for take note of is that what? Is the marginal utility MU for a particular product, let's say X, is equal to what? Price. Okay, it means that what? That the maximum satisfaction you will get from consumption of an additional unit of a commodity, okay, if it's equal to the price, it means that what? You have maximized what? That you have maximized what? Utility. Okay, so it's as simple as ABC. Okay, now one formula we need to take note of here is this: MUX, that is the marginal utility for a commodity X, over what? PX, that is the price of that commodity X. If it is equal, if MUX is over PX is equal to MUY over what? PY, that is the marginal utility for a commodity X over the price of that commodity X. If it's equal to marginal utility of a commodity Y over the price of that commodity Y, then what? You say that the consumer has what? Maximized utility. Okay, so please take note of that. All right. So when the marginal utility for a commodity X over the price of a commodity S is equal to marginal utility for commodity Y over the price of the commodity Y, we say that that consumer has maximized what? Utility. Or if the marginal utility for a commodity S is equal to the price of what? Of commodity S, then we'll say that he has maximized utility. Just like the way you took, like the way the example I gave you took 5,000 naira to the supermarket, and then you look for the best possible combination of things that you can pick from that store that will give you that 5,000. Okay, so if that marginal utility you have gotten, if those combination, the utility you have gotten from those combinations you have picked is equal to the price that you are willing to spend, that is what utility maximization. You have maximized what? Utility. Okay, let's just take an example on this. Let's say, for example, you have you want to buy some number of oranges and guava. For example, we have a table like this: number of oranges. Okay, and then talk about the utility, what you gain from it. Then have number of guavas. okay? And then the utility you gain for it. They say that what the price there is what? Is 2 naira, okay? And then price here is 1 naira. Okay, let's say we have what number of oranges as 0. When it was 0, you did not get any utility, okay? When it was 1, 20. When it was 2, 30. When it was 3, let's say 35 utils. Okay, now for guavas, when it was what? When it was 0, it was 0. When it was 1, it was 30. When it was 2, 50. When it was 3, 60. Okay, so now, what is the surplus here from this place here? What is the consumer surplus here? 20, the marginal utility rather you get from here. What is the marginal utility you get from here? 20 minus 0, Abi. Between this 1 and 2 is what? Is 20. Between what this 2, this 1, between this 0 and 1 rather is 20 minus 0, which is 20. Between this 1 and 2 is what? 30 minus 20, which is what? 10. Between this what? 35, between what? This 2 and 3, that is 35 minus 30 is what? Is 5. So this one is what? Is your marginal utility, okay? That you get from what? The additional what utility, the additional satisfaction you get from consuming or what? Extra unit or additional units of a commodity, okay? So this one is what? Our MU what? O for this what? Oranges, or MUX. Let's say this is what? This is specimen X, for example. Okay, so now for this other case, what is the marginal utility between 0 and 1? It is what? 30 minus 0, which is 30. Between 1 and 2 is what? 50 minus 30, which is 20. And 2 and 3, that is 60 minus 50, which is what? 10. Okay, so we know that the marginal utility for this product, for this specimen, let's say this is specimen Y now, is what? Is 10. Okay, so MUY is 10. MUX here is what? Is 5. Okay, so now we have said that if MUX, marginal utility of product X, over what? Price of what? Of X is equal to MUY over what? PY. We say the consumer as what? As maximized utility. Let us see. As he, we know the price here is what? Is 1 naira. We know the price here is what? Is 2 naira. Okay, so now let us go. What is MUX? MUX is what? Is 5. We found MUX to be 5. To be 5. That is what? 5. What is price? Price is what? Is 1 naira. Is equals to MUY is what? Is 10. What is price? 2 naira. To put it here. Okay? So 2 year 1, 2 year 5. 5 is equals to 5. Since it is equal, it means that this consumer has what? Has maximized utility. As simple as what? As ABC. So the only thing you need to put on your head when it comes to calculation here is what? Is this what formula, okay? Is this formula. When we get to budget line, we want to add another formula to it, but take note of this, okay? So you can say that what? A consumer has maximized utility when the maximum utility, when the marginal utility for that product is equal to the price of what? Of that product, okay? It's as simple as A, B, C. Also the ratios. Because you can also, from this formula, you can draw another conclusion. Okay, you can draw another formula from it. Since MUX over PS is equal to MUY over PY, if you cross multiply, it means that what? MUX will multiply PY times PY. Okay, this is X, so okay, this is times. Then it's equal to MUY times what? PX. Okay, ratio is there. So it means that what? You can divide here by what? By MU. You can divide this MUS by what? By MUY. And then this PX by what? By PY. So I'm going to have MUX over what? MUY is equal to what? PX. Okay? PX over what now? PY. Okay? So the ratios also of the award of the marginal utility of a product X to the marginal utility of what? Of product Y. If it is equal to the price of product X over the price of product Y, then we say the consumer also has maximized utility. Okay, this is what the law of what this is what we call marginal principle. Okay, equimarginal what principle? Equal marginal what principle? Okay, equimarginal principle. All right, this is what called the equimarginal work principle. So forget about all of this, but take note of what of this very, very well. Okay, that's what when the marginal utility of a product X is equal to the price of that product, then of course we say that the consumer has maximized utility. So let us go to the app, answer some questions, and we are done. So we have 2024 number 7. It says if the marginal utility of a commodity is equal to its price, marginal utility of a commodity is equal to its price. What do you say? Say that the consumer has maximized utility. So look for the option that says that, or the consumer is in equilibrium. Okay, it's same thing as saying the consumer is what is in equilibrium. We term this what utility maximization or consumer equilibrium. All right, so the consumer is in equilibrium. A is very correct. B says more of the commodity can be consumed. Okay, C says total utility is also equal to its price. This says the market is not in equilibrium. The market is in equilibrium. Now, let us see another question. 2008, number 13 says, the excess benefit derived from the purchase of goods over the amount paid for them is referred as what? Excess benefit. Surplus. Surplus satisfaction is known as what? Consumer surplus. Okay? All right? A says rationality. B says surplus. C says sovereignty. D says credit. Correct answer is what? Is option B, which is what? Surplus. 2011, number 6 says, a consumer surplus measures the what? A says benefit derived from consuming a cheap commodity. No. B says excess of total expenditure over total utility. No. C says difference between marginal utility and marginal cost. No. We didn't talk about that. We said D says excess of marginal utility over the price. Excess of marginal utility over the price. So correct answer there is what is option what? It's option D. Okay, it's the difference between the total amount, okay, that consumers are willing and able to what? To pay for a good or service. That is what? The excess of what? Marginal utility over what? The price. Okay. Now, this is 2010 question number 14. 2010 question number 14 is a calculation question. We're given here that if a consumer plans to spend 120 kobo, okay, he plans to spend, okay, his budget also was 120 kobo. That is what he wants to spend. That is the maximum he wants to spend, okay, on 4 oranges, but spent 80 kobo. But later he spent what? 80 kobo. When he got there, he spent 80 kobo. All right. They say his consumer surplus is, what is the surplus? The surplus is what? 120 kobo minus what? 80 kobo, which is what? 40 kobo. Simple question that the word that they give to you. But you can see here, the option is not in kobo. The option is in naira. So convert kobo to naira by dividing by what? By 100. Okay, if you divide by 100, you convert kobo to naira. All right. So 1 naira is what? 100 kobo. So 0 cancel 0. 0 here with what? We shift toward the decimal point from here backward. So I'm going to have 0.40. Okay, naira. 0 naira 40 kobo will be the correct answer. Option B. So the examiner is testing you, okay, on consumer surplus, but it's also testing your akanuche, okay? Is it akanuche now? Your acumen on how you can convert units. All right. So if you don't know how to convert units, what first of all be a big problem for you here. All right. So that is that for that. 2019 number model 2 number 19. 2019 number 19. It says, okay, we're giving what? A curve, okay, something like this, and then we're giving somewhere here. Yeah, they say it's X, yes, W, yes, V. Okay, then there was traced down. Yes, U, yes, T. Okay, this side is quantity. Yes, price. Yes, quantity. Okay, what are we asked there? Okay, then yes, D. Right? So they say consider the diagram below which shows a demand curve. This shown on your screen. They say total expenditure on a commodity is represented by the area TUVW. Total expenditure, that is total expenditure. Okay, it's represented by what? By TU, okay, TU, that is TUVW. All right, year to year. That is the total expenditure what part. That is the part that represents the total expenditure. They say the consumer surplus is presented by what? What is now the consumer surplus? Just from the graph, what we learned, we see that what that consumer surplus is what is the area, okay, below what the demand will curve. That is what the upper part, okay, of the area below what the demand curve. All right. So this is our demand curve here. Goes down like this. Okay. The area here is what is X, W, and what and V. VWX, okay, or SWV or VXW, okay, and we know that what it is the area of the triangle of this region, okay, that is what that is the consumer surplus. That is what now A says the area of VWX, the area of VWX, very correct. That is the area, that is what the consumer surplus, the area of what of this region is what is the consumer surplus. B says the area XTUV. C say SW over XT, D say TU over UV. Correct answer there is what? Is option what now? Sorry. Is option A, the area VWX. Area VWX. This area here. This triangle. Okay. That is what the consumer surplus. Okay. So thank you so much for joining us. All right. Now next class, we'll continue talking about what the theory of consumer behavior. Thank you for joining us. My name is Master T. I'll see you in that next class.